Hello students, in this video we will learn about the norma lateralis. The lateral view of the skull is called norma lateralis. Now let's look at the bones of norma lateralis. And these bones are frontal, parietal, occipital, nasal, zygomatic, temporal, sphenoid, this is greater wing of sphenoid, and maxilla, this is maxilla bone. Now let's discuss the features and attachments on norma lateralis. There are two temporal lines, superior temporal line and inferior temporal line. I have marked the superior temporal line by blue colored chalk and inferior temporal line by pink color chalk. Superior temporal line start at the frontal process of zygomatic bone. This is zygomatic bone. This is zygomatic bone and this is frontal process of zygomatic bone. So superior temporal line start at the frontal process of zygomatic bone. It arches upward and backward and crosses the parietal bone and it fades away on the temporal bone. Temporal fascia is attached on this superior temporal line. Now inferior temporal line. This is inferior temporal line. Inferior temporal line start at the same point. It start at the frontal process of zygomatic bone. It runs inferior and parallel to the superior temporal line. Posteriorly, it curves downward and forward and continues with the supramastoid crest. This is mastoid process. Just above the mastoid process, there is supramastoid crest. So, inferior temporal line continues with this supramastoid crest. This inferior temporal line limits the attachment of temporalis muscle. Now let's discuss the temporal fossa. This is temporal fossa and the boundaries are: anteriorly it is bounded by the zygomatic bone, superiorly it is bounded by the superior temporal line, posteriorly it is bounded by the supramastoid crest and superior temporal lines, inferiorly it is bounded by the zygomatic arch. The floor of the temporal fossa is formed by the frontal bone, parietal bone, temporal bone and greater wing of sphenoid. And temporalis muscle is attached to the floor and inferior temporal line. And the other contents of the fossa are middle temporal artery, which is a branch of superficial temporal artery, deep temporal arteries arising from the maxillary artery, zygomaticotemporal nerve and deep temporal nerve. deep temporal nerve arising from the mandibular nerve. Now, what is pterion? What is pterion? Pterion is a circular area in the anterior part of the temporal fossa which encloses the four bones, and these bones are frontal, parietal, sphenoid and temporal. These four bones forms an H-shaped suture. And this circular area is called pterion. Middle meningeal vein, anterior branch of middle meningeal artery and stem of the lateral sulcus of brain lies deep to the pterion. If the meningeal vessels in this region, in the region of pterion are damaged, an extradural hematoma is formed. Such hematoma may exert the pressure on the cerebral cortex. Now let's talk about the zygomatic arch. Zygomatic arch is formed by the temporal process of zygomatic bone and zygomatic process of temporal bone. It has two surfaces, outer surface and inner surface, and it has two borders, superior border and inferior border. Auriculotemporal nerve, superficial temporal vein and superficial temporal artery crosses the outer surface from posterior to anterior. Masseter originate from its inner surface and lower border. Temporal fascia is attached to its upper border. Now, posterior end of lower border is marked by a tubercle. This tubercle is called tubercle of root of zygoma. This is tubercle of root of zygoma. Here the lateral ligament of temporomandibular joint is attached. Now, root of zygomatic arch diverge from this tubercle. This is anterior root. This is anterior root. And posterior root is continuous with the supramastoid crest. Root of zygomatic arch diverged from this tubercle, and this is anterior root called anterior tubercle or articular tubercle. Articular tubercle passes medially in front of the mandibular fossa. This is mandibular fossa. In front of the mandibular fossa there is articular tubercle or anterior root, and the posterior root continues with the supramastoid crest. Now let's talk about the external acoustic meatus. External acoustic meatus is located behind the mandibular fossa and below the posterior root of zygomatic arch or below the supramastoid crest. Its anterior wall, floor, and posterior wall is formed by the tympanic part, while its roof and upper part of the posterior wall is contributed by the squamous part of temporal bone. Now let's talk about the external acoustic meatus. It is located behind the mandibular fossa and below the supramastoid crest. The supramastoid crest, also known as posterior root of zygomatic arch. The anterior wall of external acoustic meatus, anterior wall, floor, and lower part of the posterior wall is formed by the tympanic part, while its roof and upper part of the posterior wall is formed by the squamous part of temporal bone. Margins of the external acoustic meatus provides attachment to the cartilaginous part of external acoustic meatus.